Have you ever wondered how to pick a starter guitar? Your first guitar can sometimes be the most important decision you make in guitar playing. And especially as a beginner, a lot of people pick up a guitar that is very cheap and very difficult to play, and you have just made a very, very bad decision if you go buy a guitar at Toys R Us for $89 or something. Not only will it sound terrible, it won't be able to be tuned properly, and you won't be able to, the action, which is called the height of the strings on the neck, will just be terrible. It'll be almost impossible to push the strings down. So it's really good as your first guitar, your starter guitar, that you get a reasonably good quality guitar. Now, a lot of companies make very nice, inexpensive guitars. There are some guitars under $200 that are great for beginners. And a lot of them are made in Japan or overseas, Indonesia, China, Korea, all these countries are bringing out great, great guitars for beginners, especially when you're just getting started. So be sure to go to a reputable store around you, a place that repairs guitars and sells guitars, because this is usually where you're going to get the best advice and the best guitar for whatever your price range is. If this is for a child getting started on the guitar, get them a guitar that is slightly smaller, a 3/4 size guitar, than a full-size guitar. Also, a really good idea for beginners is to start on a nylon string guitar, which has nylon strings, obviously, instead of steel strings. Much easier on your fingers, and you develop very good habits when you start on a nylon string guitar or a classical guitar, as opposed to a steel string guitar, or even worse, an electric guitar. Do not start on an electric guitar. Bad, bad, bad idea. So it's, again, find a guitar that is not too difficult to play, that sounds pretty good, and have somebody in the store, get the salesman in the store to play a few different guitars for you and talk to you about the advantages and disadvantages of steel strings, nylon strings, electric, 12 strings. Do not start on a 12-string guitar either. There's another really, really bad idea. So that's part of the things you have to consider as a beginner. To find a good starter guitar, spend a little bit more than the cheapest guitar out there. Get something that will last you a couple of years, because you really want to have a good return on your time invested in playing this. And if all you do is keep getting frustrated because the guitar sounds terrible, feels terrible, your fingers are sore, they're bleeding, you made a mistake. So just make sure you look at all the different guitars now there are great guitars out there by bigger companies. They're not as inexpensive, but you can certainly consider a Baby Taylor, a Martin travel guitar. Takamine makes some nice guitars. Yamaha makes some great guitars. And they all have guitars in the under $500 range, but it's still, these are spectacular guitars. So if you want to get a guitar that's really going to last you forever, look at some of the higher quality name brands. But really, really important choices. So your first guitar, make sure to get one that is good quality.